welcome to the Big Scuba podcast. Thanks for downloading. Time to get on board and let's go diving. Mind those ropes.
Hi, I'm Ollie, and this is my mum.
Hi, I'm Miranda.
And we're on the Big Scuba podcast.
With Gemma and Ian.
Yeah.
So we're just, we're going to have a bit of a chat about some of the things that we love about diving and some of your experiences growing up in a diving family.
Hello and welcome back to the Big Scuba podcast. My name is Ian. This is episode 223, and by the power of Zoom is my co-host.
Hello, I'm Gemma, and welcome to the Big Scuba podcast.
We're back. Right from the top, let me tell you, these episodes are sponsored by the lovely team at 90 because their service is
beyond technical. And if you go to their website, they are there to cater for all your diving needs, whether you're a recreational diver right through to the high-level technical divers.
I'd be a diver. Can they help me?
Of course they can. And as well, if you have any conundrums you come up against in your diving.
Conundrum? It's a big word for this time in the morning.
It is, isn't it? If you've got something that you want to be solved, something to do with your rebreather or your setup, then they're the people to ask because they've got an amazing amount of experience between the both of them. They're pioneers in what they do. So
yeah. They are. And we spoke to them very recently, and that episode was only out a few weeks ago. Go back to
220, I think. 21 or 20. And I did look at this
a few weeks ago. Go have a look.
Yeah, I actually looked at the stats this morning, and that is performing amazingly well with numbers and downloads. Yeah, so well done up to 90. It shows, that
and
does
John
say everything.
John absolutely loves being in front of the camera, loves talking about himself. You know, he he's a man for the social media. He loves it, don't he?
He did really, really well. So but yeah, have a listen to that episode because they come up with some dicey situations they've been in, I suppose we could call. But
who knew you would go try to go diving on neon gas? Do you know what I mean? Who knew that?
And with a bag of spanners.
And a bag of spanners, yeah. So coming up, we have a guest for you. I first met this lady several years ago at one of the very first go diving shows, and there was our guest and another other guests who we then spoke to, and I was very cheeky and I went and introduced myself and said hello to Miranda Krestovnikoff. I knew I'd get that wrong. Sorry. But there we go. So Miranda's on the show. She's going to be telling us and speak to us with her son. And they're both on to talk to us.
Yes, so Miranda, they are a diving family, and her son Ollie loves diving, and her daughter is also qualified as a DM, and she's out in Asia, Thailand way at the moment. Having lots of fun and experience in her diving career.
Lovely old job, and what a great place to go and do that, you know. Yeah. And but Ollie does a great job, and so look out for this interview that we've got Miranda and Ollie on. So all good stuff. We've got a bit of news for you, so lots of stuff on social media at the moment in the diving world, in the news front. First off, we found a B-17 over,
I know.
Just off Germany. So by the looks of it, they were doing some commercial work and scanning the seabed, putting new windmills, turbines and what have you. And they found a B-17.
And it's incredibly deep, isn't it? 230 meters?
Yeah, not turbines, sorry, for doing just like seabed research and stuff like that. I suppose
cabling, probably.
Underground networks and cabling and stuff. And during their search, they found a B-17 that went down. 260 meters down.
Amazing.
So if you want to read more on that story, I found it. I've lost my place. Talk amongst yourselves because I can't find it. Here we go. World War Wings. If you I like the World War II history and stuff like that. So I'm on a few Facebook groups and things. So, but if you're interested and you want to know more, go to worldwarwings.com, and there's more about that story about this B-17 that they've recently found.
Yeah,
They
awesome.
found it last year, and they're now come up and talking about it. And yeah, amazing, really. So
Mm.
found, and it was actually buried under all the sand. So,
Yeah,
but
it's
because of
amazing.
their research systems that would like electrical pulse and sort of systems that they use, and they discovered it buried in the sand,
Yeah,
and all
great.
after all these years, pretty
Yeah,
cool.
I guess they can
Pretty cool.
send down RAVs to have a look at it, and
Yeah, that's what they've been doing. Yeah,
yeah.
and slowly it's now they've uncovered it, so it's not buried anymore,
Mm.
and it's in good condition. Um, they've at the moment, from what I was reading, um, the people who went uh did survive, so which is pretty cool.
Oh, that's good news. Yeah, yeah. So look that one up. Also, our last episode was about the Go Diving show, and they've actually released the figures about the attendance, and it was over 16,000 of us divers attended the show
That is
over the
massive.
weekend. Yeah, yeah, and 200 plus exhibitors. So
Yeah,
we knew it was busy because it felt really busy, and yeah, that really proves that yeah, it definitely was. So we
it
hope
is, because
you're
you've got to remember, as I said to you before, when you look at us on the diving front, compared to fishing, football, it is
mm,
a smaller sport, and there's
yeah.
and even like cycling probably, is a much smaller sport. So to get 16,000 people to come into a go diving show across the weekend, that's massive.
It
That's
is. Yeah. Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
brilliant.
So,
That's really good, and it's so good for the sport.
yes. Yeah. So onwards and upwards. And I think they're now taking the Go Diving show to America. So in May, end of May, California, beginning of
Yeah,
June is New Jersey. So that's keeping them all very busy.
yeah,
Yeah. So if you're listening to this in America, then look up the Go Diving Show USA
yeah.
and
Get your
see
tickets. Don't let them
see where
get
they're.
sold out. Don't miss out.
Exactly. And also, while we were at the Go Diving show, just a reminder, we carried out some interviews in our camper van, our auto trail camper van.
We did, yeah. Great camper van, the
Yeah,
Expedition
Expedition 68
XL.
XL. Yes. So they're out on YouTube for you to listen to. So yeah, go along, and they're only 10-minute interviews in the camper van. And you can listen to Dom Robinson, James Neal, Andy Peters from Deep Blue FPV, and Grace and Anne, her dad, Anna Westgarth,
Yeah,
and JD Scuba, Jake Davis as well. They were the people that came and visited us in the camper van.
yeah. And then we went and talked to various brands in the Go Diving show, and we spoke to Fourth Element, O3, Jimmy Sue's Dive with Jimmy, and who else did we speak to?
Dynamic
Dynamic
Nord.
North.
Yeah.
So various brands, they're all out there. Go and have a look at the YouTubes and have a look at the chat. Fourth Element was speaking about their new posh wetsuit and that they've got out, the Xenos
Arc.
art,
Yeah.
which is really cool. Made of
Rubber.
yeah, sort of reclaimed rubber and things, isn't it? All
Yes.
these
Yeah.
products. It's pretty
So
groovy.
apparently, it makes it
Doesn't
easier.
compress either.
No, but it makes it easier to get into because it's got more flexibility than neoprene.
Yeah.
So if you have
Yeah.
trouble getting in your wetsuit,
Yeah, it doesn't compress like neoprene, which is pretty good.
yeah.
And also they got a new set of Arctics coming out, very, very snazzy, I have to say. You're
Mm.
gonna see people walking down the street wearing Arctic jackets and stuff.
Yeah, in the chillier days. Anyway, don't want to talk about chilly because it's nice and warm now. So.
There is on the YouTubes. If you look at the blurb, if you're interested in any stuff, there is links to those things. So have a look. Did you know? Did you know that actually this week is part? It actually started last week, but we only recorded for 2 weeks. But running up to the 29th of March is the Great British Spring Clean.
Yeah, that's really good. And that links nicely with the people that we work with at Waterhall, because they produce amazing litter pickers, the hoops to put your bags on, to put the rubbish in, knives to cut things loose, and it's all made out of recycled, repurposed fishing net and ghost gear.
Yeah. So have a look at that. Good opportunity. Get out there, do a spring clean on your beach if you're near a beach. We spoke to the 2-minute beach cleaners, about 18 months ago.
Yeah.
Have a chat with them. They've installed on some of the beaches actually beach picking, litter picking equipment on the beaches and things. So they got a stand, haven't they?
Yes, yeah, and
on
it's,
some of the beaches.
there are different groups around the country. There's one locally where I live. They do, I think, a beach clean every couple of weeks. They put on their blue high vis, and there they are on the beach with their litter pickers. So yeah, it's all good that these people do this.
High vis, you kind of need. They keep you safe, don't they? High vis.
Well, they do, yeah, and you can see what they're up to and what they're doing.
Gives people power. I don't know. They put a high vis jacket on. They got power. They got real
status.
Power.
Yes.
You feel you put a high vis on, you just feel invincible because you've got this high vis.
You got your cape on, haven't you?
Yes, like this. It's like having a cape on. It's like, got my high vis on. I'm there. I'm ready. I can take on the world. Nothing's going to get me.
No, nothing's going to strike you down.
No. And then I saw this post the other day, and it was, I did leave a comment on there because and nobody's come back to me, and on Instagram, so anything's possible on Instagram. Kazi diving, just a random question: is diving industry broken? Question right now. I just asked the question, but why do you think that?
And there has to be
responded to it. To be fair, I think this Instagram account is based in Asia. When you see 16,000 people come into the Go Dive show, I kind of think that answers that question, really.
Yeah.
But I was just interested in why someone would go to that trouble of putting the post up. So, industry, because it kind of could mean anything, couldn't it?
There has to be some substance and meaning behind it. You can't just put out random statements.
No sport is perfect. Diving comes close to it, but no. Be fair,
perfect.
I would have thought so. No, is football perfect? Probably not.
No.
We can always improve, can't we? But 16,000 people through the doors at Go Diving Show at the UK this year.
Yeah, but there we go. If you put something like that out on social media, you've got to expect some responses back, good and bad, negative and positive.
Very true. Coming up as well is the International Cave Diving Conference. Who knew?
That's happening in Florida, I think, isn't it? On the 5th and 6th of June. Yeah, so that will be interesting to see. Yeah, see who attends and
we've spoken to a few cave divers who dive around the Florida regions, haven't we, over the years? So always go back to on our previous episodes, look at who we spoke to from the Florida regions, or especially cave divers and what have you.
Yeah, we have spoken to quite a few cave divers over the years, and we've actually got an interview coming up next weekend with a cave diver.
Yeah, and they do like looking at their wet rocks
at the back of holes in the ground,
which is different to looking at wet, rusty pieces of metal. So a cave diver told us.
But
we don't make it up. We're just in the middle. We're just putting it out there. We're
bringing this to you. Yeah.
And talking about contentious issues, probably many other people on Facebook had a step back, and I was like, "What's going on at Stony Cove? New parking restrictions." And then when you read it, you think, what? Who's giving the staff there all this abuse and hassle and whatever? Because the team do a great job at Stony. Hope you all agree. And it's not easy trying to herd 100 divers into car parking spaces, and everybody's got requirements, and
wants their space,
and everybody wants their space, and certain people go down the bottom end, and certain people at the top end, and it's a nightmare. It's got to be a nightmare, isn't it? Let's face it. And
personalities.
but it's a shame, that Stoney's had to do this. And to be fair, it's not the divers. It seems like it's causing the trouble. It seems like it's people who are visiting the site who are, leaving their cars there overnight and all sorts of stuff going on, and not being particularly friendly.
We have seen it, haven't we, where people have come in, with big music and spouty exhausts and motorbikes, and
because unfortunately you're trying to, it's that what's that word? It's finding that balance, isn't it? Because you want the site get my words out. The site needs to be busy because it needs to make a profitable income to keep the site going. So it's got to attract the people into the pub and viewers and stuff like that. But because you're inviting these people in who are not divers, they don't understand that, divers are quiet, we're chilled, we're relaxed, we aren't shouting about and got music blaring and whatever, because we're concentrating on the dives ahead and stuff. These visitors don't understand that type of thing, and it's very hard to police it. It's a shame that Stony have had to go to this, because really people should have more respect when they turn up on site and stuff, divers or not. But so if you're not, it's not going to cost divers anything. Stony have been really clear about all that. It's not going to cost anybody. If you're there to dive and you're booking in as normal, it's no change. I repeat, no change. No price increase, nothing like that to do with this new park and thing. So if you're not sure, contact Stony or go on the Stony Facebook page. It's all there for you. All right.
Yeah, and I'm sure there'll be stuff on their website as well, just to make things clear and clarify it for the divers and the people that are there to use it for swimming or diving as well.
Yeah. Yeah, we're regularly there, and it's a shame they've had to do it, and I think they do a great job. To me, it must be like herding cats, getting a whole load of divers slotted into space.
Well, and it's responsibility, isn't it?
Yeah,
there are people wandering about with heavy equipment on, and if people are just there recreationally, to go to the pub or sit and just have a walk, then
and let's face it, we all love going to the pub, don't we? Like having a dive and chilling out. Some people like the bacon sarnies and stuff like that in the mornings, and fair play. It's all there to be used. So, why not?
Yeah,
indulge. So there we are, Stony Cove news for you.
Yeah,
and that rounds up the news for this episode.
Yes, so there's a bit of variety there. Also to mention, we've already mentioned Waterhall, who we team up with. Go to their website and you can get a little bit of a discount using our codes, which are all in the show notes.
So good time to get some new sunglasses.
I know, now it's, the weather is definitely perking up. The clocks are going forward.
Oh, you had to think about that one. 1 hour sleep next Saturday.
Well, yeah. So that's good. And we'll have lighter mornings. No, there'll be lighter mornings, won't they? Darker mornings. Darker
for the next couple of weeks. Once the clocks change. In the UK, that'll be darker for a couple of weeks, and then that peters out, and then the time catches up, and that'll be light again.
But the main thing is we've got more daylight than we have non-daylight now. So we're over that 12-hour mark.
Until June. So plenty of getting out there, evening dives if you're near the water, or
Yes, and also we mentioned McConk's, the paddleboard company that we team up with. We've not had the best of weather over the winter and the early part of this year, so now it's definitely looking better. We'll be back out on the boards.
Look forward to it. Look forward to that. Be good to get back out. So
we need
cool
to get out on
the gang
out on the lake and see everything coming alive again.
And talking about people who like being on the water or under the water, so our guest Miranda.
Yes, So Miranda Krestovnikoff has been on the podcast once on her own. We did that in lockdown. And
showing off with the name. Showing off, getting her name right.
No. So we spoke to her, back in lockdown. So it was 2020, 2021. I think we spoke to her about her diving. And then since then, I don't think her son was even qualified when we spoke to her.
No.
Because he's 16, 17. But yeah, he's loving his diving, and he has come on with his mum, and they talk about the son and mum kind of diving dynamic. They've been diving in Grenada, so we hear about that. And I think they were then off to the Philippines, and they've also worked with another previous guest, Neptune Army of Rubbish Cleaners, Dave Kennard. So they've worked quite closely with him, which is great as well.
Dave makes some great Welsh cakes as well.
He does, yeah.
He
so
fed us
never
up
had
quite
a Welsh cake.
Go. No, they were very nice actually, and he also told us about going to see his friend who has the rum as well, and that was rather nice rum
That was
too.
Nice, yeah. And I think it's available.
Yeah, there's alcohol at Go Dive Show, so
rum, yeah. And he also put. Well, we then spoke to some people that do diving, shore diving and boat diving in Pembrokeshire, didn't we, as well? So it kind of opened another avenue for UK diving as well.
Yeah, we'll have a look at that. So that might be a possible visit this year, I think.
Yeah, but it was really good talking to Miranda and Ollie. And Ollie, really is passionate about bringing younger divers into the diving community, and
which is always good.
Give it a go. So. Yeah, it was a really good conversation. And Ollie did, for his first podcast experience, he did brilliantly.
He did. Really clear, spoke really well, and did a great job. Not easy speaking to Herberts like us. So, he did well.
No, so I think that's everything for episode 2023. And we should dive in and listen to Miranda.
Let's get them on.
Ollie. Well, welcome to the Big Scuba podcast. It's lovely to have you both on, and a son and mum combination, which is probably, we've not had that before.
Good, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think we have we?
We've had father and daughter and son and father, but nothing, this way around. So that's really good.
We first spoke to you, Miranda, back in July 2020, one of our really early episodes. I think episode 20, I think it was, so a long while ago.
I remember sitting outside in the sunshine in my garden and having a good chat with you guys about it. It was great. And then we've chatted at the dive show as well. So, all good. So it's been it has actually been a really great thing to be able to introduce the kids to diving as well. Ollie's the youngest, so there's an older one, Amelie, who actually has been spending some time doing a Dive Master out in Koh Tao recently, but they are in Istanbul at the moment, so can't speak to you today. I'm sorry.
Traveling the world.
Been three of us, but sorry about that.
Yeah. So how do you get into the underwater world, Ollie? Was it mum's influence, or?
I think partially mum's influence. I think it's just been a thing in our family. Can't say it's just been mum. My dad's very interested in snorkeling, diving. There's always been the influence. I think I've got two older siblings who both learned how to dive, and I think since doing swimming lessons from very early on, just being able to do a little bit of snorkeling, being around water, I think it's all just gradually pushed me in that kind of direction.
Yeah.
I think, to be honest, Ollie probably had no option, really. I mean, he could have said, I don't want to dive, but most of our family holidays when you were younger involved some form of water sports, and a lot of that was swimming and then snorkeling, even when they were tiny. And, we went on diving holidays, and often we'd palm the kids off at the kids club. And we were very lucky that some of the kids clubs taught the children to dive. I think you were 3 years old when you first had a regulator in your mouth. So.
I've been very lucky with the opportunities. I think we talked about it, and definitely with the opportunities I was given at a young age.
Yeah.
But you did have a choice, didn't you, as
Yeah.
well? You could have turned around and said, actually, this
But
is
it
not.
was also enjoyable. I could never turn it away.
So it's lots of positive experiences, being surrounded by amazing people wherever we've been, wherever we've gone. The people we've dived with have always been actually really encouraging for the children as well, not just like, interested in diving with me and my husband, for example, but always involving the children and really respecting you as young divers and wanting you to have great experiences underwater. We've been really lucky. So big thank you to everybody who's been involved in our diving journey, really, because we have been very fortunate.
Yeah.
So where did it all start after that? Where did you do your PADI open water?
Yeah, so my PADI open water, I think due to COVID, I didn't do it as quite as early as I could have done. But yeah, I think I was 12 or 13 when
12,
I think I was 12, yeah, when I did it. Obviously, yeah, in the UK, in a wetsuit in the cold. So
The way it should be done.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. But not what everyone thinks of when people do their open waters. But for me actually quite an enjoyable experience. Just doing it for the first time, I think for most people is really, really new and really cool.
Yeah. You did dry suit training in Chepstow as well, didn't
Exactly.
you? Before that. That was quite a nice thing to do that there. And then you did your advanced in Vobster. Again, with just exceptional teachers and instructors and individuals, and you were surrounded by adults, so it was quite full on, because Ollie was training with people a lot older than him. All the time, without exception, people were really respectful of you and your training and support and help, and it was brilliant. I think that's the diving community through and through, actually. It really there is a love for and a genuine interest to get people involved, and especially younger people, and we felt that all along, haven't we?
Yeah, we found that with a lot of people recently we've spoken to that actually teach. A previous guest, Jason Pritchard, passionate about inspiring the enthusiasm with the people that he's teaching, and then that keeps the retention of the divers as well, and they don't just learn and then it kind of fades away, which is, it does happen, but keeping them diving is really, really important. Yeah. So how did you
doing it all in the UK, it could have put you off, because Amelie, your sister, learnt out in Gozo, and that was all a bit tropical and a bit warm and everything. And well, because of COVID, it was a bit more hardcore, wasn't it? But I think because you took to it really easily and naturally, we knew you were going to be a good diver, because for years you only really dived in the UK in a dry suit. So
yeah, and what you said about just keeping on, just getting people diving. I think I was very lucky to do that at 12, which probably is a lot younger than lots of the people listening to this will have done. But it's but after that, as you said, just carrying on, just keeping the love for diving there I think is quite an important thing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because I learned in COVID as well. So and that was all UK diving. Just what you had to do. But we were so lucky that it was possible to get qualification in, I think I was July 2020.
I don't think you'd qualified by then, had you?
2020, July 2020 was.
Was it? Is that when it
mine.
was? Probably was around about that time. You were just about to qualify then.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. I didn't realize it was so recent.
Yeah. Yeah, but again, it's about the people that surround you that carry you through and give you that passion and inspiration, I think, as well.
Very much so. Yeah, we've been lucky.
And your family, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you were the last one to learn, so you sort of you were dragged by the rest of us, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So have you had family holidays since qualifying where you've all been able to dive together?
Yeah, I think that's one of the nicest things as well. Just because obviously when you're qualifying, it's it's a big time commitment. It's a lot of energy. It's you have to learn a lot of new things, and then it can feel quite daunting. it's quite a big thing doing, a qualification, but then actually looking forward from doing it going forward, once you're able to use that, if you are able to use it, it's amazing just being able to go out, get in the water, be relaxed and just, see what's out there. I've been, really lucky, family holidays, even school trips and things, to just be able to get out there.
Yeah. Any of your friends dive?
Yeah, I've actually got one of my friends who goes to the same school as me. We've been friends for years, but he got really into diving as well.
You were in Madagascar together, weren't you?
Yeah. So
Awesome.
yeah, people around me. I've my girlfriend has done a little bit of diving, so yeah, it's not uncommon for people my age.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's your
Sorry.
favorite piece of kit? Have you got your own dive kit now?
I'm really lucky actually. I've got some of my own stuff. Yeah, I
What's your
managed.
sort of favorite piece of kit?
I like
Knife.
Knife.
We went diving with NARC, so the Neptune's Army of Rubbish Cleaners down in Pembrokeshire. And we were all getting kitted up for the first dive, and Ollie get us out his little knife like that, and they go, "That's not a knife.
That's not a knife.
There's
This
some
is a knife
context. There's some
Yeah.
context.
How big your knife is.
It's a big knife,
we-
right?
You see them
were
in
actually-
Stony, and they've got these great big daggers, and it's like, what are you going
Yeah,
to kill with that
yeah.
at
I think
Stony?
it's similar to one of them. We were picking up stray crab and lobster pots, and that's why we needed one, just for the context.
Yeah, to cut. Yeah, it was a knife to cut. Rope, not for.
You've also got to think about what looks
A
cool
large
as well.
knife is very important.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's good. So you all did your rescue course together, so that must have been really fun because I loved doing that. That was my favourite part of getting qualified, the rescue course.
I think it was ours actually. Yeah, we had such a laugh. I tell you what was really lovely as well is because obviously I qualified a number of years ago, and Amelie qualified by themselves sort of when they were 12. Ollie, you were sort of 3 years behind that. And we'd not really done a lot of diving together. And actually doing that rescue course as a parent with 2 children was really solidifying. And it was really good because at the end of the course, we all knew what each other was capable of. We all knew that we'd had the same level of training because we'd all done it together. And I think that was quite key, really. We had a really good laugh, bandaging each other up and rescuing each other and trying not to drown each other. And the kids, so the 2 of you had you had really good fun.
Yeah, it was a really fun.
It's a lot of rescue skills, which is obviously really serious stuff. You might need to be rescuing somebody who's dying, or or even bringing somebody to service. But it was fun. It was really light-hearted. It was just brilliant. It's a really good laugh for you guys to do.
Yeah, it was actually one of the more enjoyable courses, I think, from my perspective. As Mum said, getting to know each other, in and out in every sense, diving. And also I think it's really important, that one actually. As I was saying, yes, it's a life skill. It's a really important skill, like so many skills that hopefully, you'll never need to use, but
you've got it there.
Got them.
Yeah. And actually, just for the kids diving together, we've had lots of great family holidays, but the diving holidays when the 2 of you are in the water together, and now I know that they're both responsible enough to be a buddy pair, because obviously, again, when you start off as a parent, I'm buddying with one child, and you're uber nervous, and my husband's buddying with the other one. But now we've got to the stage where I can just put the 2 of you together in the water, and it's been like that for a number of years, and I can see them sort of mucking about, but at the end of the day, they're there and they're looking after each other, and as their siblings, they do really genuinely care about each other. But seeing them having fun underwater and mucking about, and that's just, it's absolutely brilliant. It's all I ever wanted, really, from the sport and the experience, was you guys to enjoy it and enjoy it together. And it really has been like that. We've had some incredible trips, and to the Red Sea, and to you've been to Madagascar, I've not yet.
This episode is brought to you by Narked at 90, the cutting-edge pioneers in the world of diving equipment. Meet the founders, John Routley and Brent Hudson, who have logged thousands of mixed gas dives over the past 3 decades. About 20 years ago, these experienced technical divers combined their passion for diving and engineering skills to create Narked at 90. Whether you're new to diving and ready to take it up a notch, have a fair amount of experience, or are considering a transition into technical diving, we highly recommend Narked at 90. They're ready to advise on the best equipment and setup for your personal and commercial needs. Narked at 90 also has extensive hands-on experience with shearwater and ratio dive computers, being the longest-serving UK service centre for these brands. They're ready to offer technical support, servicing, repairs and upgrades for all shearwater and ratio computers past and present. In addition to shearwater and ratio, Narked at 90 stocks and supports many other brands such as DiveSoft, JJCCR, Hollis, Revo and Kiss rebreathers. The diving community is always enthusiastic about Narked at 90 and it's easy to see why. Here are just a few reasons. Full head servicing for rebreathers from various manufacturers, bespoke cable assemblies, advice on specific fitting requirements, suggestions and guidance for home builds, computer laser cutting and engraving, CNC milling and turning, pressure testing to simulate 400-metre dives. We're thrilled to partner with Narked at 90, a company that has ignited so much passion for diving and has been incredibly supportive and innovative in producing and selling dive equipment. Visit narkedat90.com to see why they're a renowned name in diving. Stay updated on their insights and offers by following them on social media. Just search for Narked at 90 on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram and hit that follow button.
What's Madagascar like?
It's yeah, I think the whole experience of Madagascar, not only just the diving, but the whole experience is a really amazing experience. I think there's a lot of things that people associate with Madagascar, you know, they associate
like to move it.
Yeah, the movie. But there's so much more to it. There's a lot to it, you know. You've got different biomes, you've got, you know, cities, and you know, it's very different to, I think, what a lot of people think it to be. Obviously it's got some really nice coral reefs. It's got that, the right, I think it's the right water, the right climate for coral reefs. So I did my diving on the north of the island on this slightly smaller island. And it was really nice being able to be in close proximity to the water, so we could just go out every day, really easily just put on our kit and just explore what was there.
What did you see?
I was going to say, so he went out with Operation Wallacea, so actually part of a scientific sort of search project, which it wasn't just a jolly, but actually
which kind of links on to what I did see, which was, you know, they had quite a big focus on coral out there, which is really, really nice, because I've seen it before, but actually, realizing that coral, you know, it's a lot more than people think it is. It's a symbiotic relationship. It's, you know, and it provides a healthy reef. It's the building block to lots of ecosystems. So a lot of coral there. They put a really big emphasis on that. Lots of amazing reef fish. We did a lot of fish identification.
Wow.
So going back after the dive and sitting down, having a chat, having a little lecture, and just talking about fish ID, which I hadn't done before, which was amazing. A few larger things. So we saw some turtles snorkeling, which was a really cool experience. I think another group saw some dolphins. But I think a big emphasis on smaller life. You know, you're ranks, you're really, really small, massive shoals of really, really small fish.
Really? What's the visibility like? Is it clear?
Yeah, I think from my dive logs, I remember it being between 5 and 15 meters.
That's good.
Good.
Decent visibility. I remember it being very enjoyable as well, because of, you know, the people I was doing it with, kids my age from my school who were interested in the same kind of thing.
Yeah. So did you do some like conservation work as well?
They have a really big emphasis, Operation Wallacea, on the conservation. That's what they're about.
Yeah.
and there were, two main aspects. But the marine aspect of the trip was all about looking at the conservation of their house reefs, their local reefs around them. So massive conservation impact from them, I think, on us. I think the education,
to step in, but showing children, teenagers, what you can do, what diving can lead to as a career.
Yeah.
So if they wanted to be marine biologists, or they were interested in surveying work or whatever, it was showing them, you learn this amazing skill, and it's not just for recreation. This can lead on to
absolutely
job. It's not what you're going to go into, but you had a little taste of what that might involve, and it might be something you get involved with a little bit in the future. You never know.
I think it's something that everyone should know about.
Would you like a job? Would you like a career in some where it involves diving as some description?
I'd love a career in diving. I mean, diving is one of the best things out there. I definitely think for me, one of the things I enjoy doing. I've never really not enjoyed it. I mean, I'd love a career in diving.
What do you mean, teaching?
Yeah, potentially. That's the main one out there. But even if you don't have a career in diving, just being able to go out and experience little bits. I know it's not feasible for everyone to do that. And who knows, it might be a path, it might not be. But even if it's not a career, even if it's just a little bit of exposure to those scenarios.
It'd be something you do, like Amelie on their gap year did a dive master course in Koh Tao, and he's worked for 6 months a dive center. Maybe that might be something you do. Yes. Who knows? It's
not always the best paid, but the life experiences that you'll get to have will be awesome, and it'll be amazing, and stuff that you always look back on for forever. And my daughter's similar age to you, and last year at school, and I say the same thing to her, is to be open for all these different roles that you could do within the diving experiences. There's so many out there now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and you touched on Neptune armies of rubbish cleaners as well. So you've worked with Dave Kennard and done your good bit in the on the coast there, clearing.
Well, it's actually you were only just qualified, weren't you?
Yeah,
some of your early diving in the UK. I think maybe we'd done one trip to Lundy, and then we went and dived with Dave, and it was quite full on, actually. I mean, not just diving, but Ollie was asked to do something for Sky Kids and for Newsround as well. So we had a whole film crew there, and loads of people taking film and photographs and everything like that. But it was really good. And again, it's that showing, it's not just diving and doing it for fun. It's actually showing a purpose behind the diving. So you've got this great skill, and now you can use that, and you can do something, really, I don't know, sort of not life-changing, but you can really do some good.
Make a difference, isn't it?
It was great for you, wasn't it?
I think it's what made it one of my most memorable experiences, is actually, it's quite different to what you'd usually think about doing when you think diving. You don't think people going to rescue lost lobster pots and things that are on the floor. But I think that's one of the things that made it one of the most memorable experiences, is working with a lovely group of people, a dive boat with like-minded people. It's you're sitting around chatting, and then everyone's going down, and you feel like you have a purpose after coming back from the boat, talking about it.
Really rewarding as well. We brought up this lobster pot, and it was full of stuff. There were crabs and fish and all sorts of things, and just liberating all of those marine creatures and realizing that they can go back and swim off and be free, sort of thing. And putting up all of this ghost fishing net, and you just feel like you're doing something to help the marine environment, because so often we feel really helpless, don't we? We're just like, it's a bit doom and gloom, and this is like we're using our diving skills to do something. And also what I really remember from that trip was, again, this respect from everybody on the boat. We had people on the boat who were in their 70s. We had really eminent scientists and researchers and really experienced divers, and you were treated absolutely like an equal. It wasn't like, oh, this is a kid of 14 coming on board, what does he know? You were really part of the crew and part of the team, and that was really amazing, actually. It was a very special time. And yeah, again, we're just really, really fortunate to have known those people. And you know, I've dived with Dave and the crew quite a number of times, and we'll be again this year doing the same. Going down in the gloom, you know, you can't see what's at the bottom of the shot line, and you're pulling up chains and fishing gear and all that sort of thing. But it's good. It's really fun, doing something useful.
Yeah, we've got to get that stuff out, you know, rather than that just being there catching stuff.
Yeah, and then you've been to Grenada as well, so you've quite well travelled with your scuba diving.
Definitely experienced warmer and colder climates.
Extremes,
yeah. Grenada is one of the warmer ones I've been to. I mean, it's just, I think as a country, it's a lovely island. You know, they have a lovely community there.
So just to clarify, so we've been to Grenada, well, Ollie's been twice, I've been 3 times. They have a diving and conservation festival every year. So they're highlighting not just how amazing the diving around Grenada is, it has a lot of great shipwrecks, amazing coral reefs and sculpture parks, but also there's some fantastic conservation elements going on, going on above and below the water. And we were there to help, to learn about those and then help sort of spread the word about what Grenada's doing. And you had a fantastic time both times that you've been out. It was a few years, about 3 or 4 years ago that you first went out, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. As Mum said, they have a massive thing about their reefs and trying to replant the coral and create ways to make it grow quicker and have little coral nurseries. And that's one of the things I remember from the first time we went there. That was one of the main things I remembered. It was this place, and they had some amazing life in some amazing dive sites, and then there were some places where there'd been a lot of pollution or a lot of illegal storm damage or anchoring, and they had a threat to their coral reefs. And this was a big thing that, we learned about, that we dived and saw how they're doing.
So they've got rebar structures that they run a very faint electric current through, and then they're planting the coral on those, like seeding it. And the electric current helps stimulate the coral growth.
Really?
You transplant those corals elsewhere. So we saw that, and it was really lovely. You can swim through the little tunnels of rebar with corals everywhere. They've got these 2 amazing sculpture parks, one in Grenada itself and one off the island of Carriacou, which is just north of Grenada. And in the sculpture parks are obviously a great tourist attraction, but they themselves are an artificial reef. So over time, these incredible sculptures, if people aren't familiar with them, it's worth looking up. There's this incredible guy called Jason Taylor who takes casts of real human beings and then casts them in pH neutral cement and creates these incredible underwater sculptures. It's quite.
What's his name again?
Jason Taylor.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Phenomenal guy, who I had the pleasure of interviewing. He had I went out to Lanzarote, and he's got a studio out there. And so he casts local people, and it's really, really important to him that he takes images of local people and then recreates those in concrete and basically sticks them to the bottom of the sea. Some of the new Carriacou is all younger children, and they're sort of in rafts, and it's all about climate change and sea level rise and everything. But they're sort of standing in origami boats. And on the rigging of the boats, there's statistics about climate change and sea level rise and things like that.
Yeah, it's a really, really amazing dive,
isn't it? I mean, you go to, it's like walking around a museum, but you dive, and then you look at the sculptures, and then over time you get coral growth, and then you get all these little critters living in and around the sculptures themselves. So there's the park in Grenada, or just off the island of Grenada, is much, much older, and you can really see how it's changed over time, and the faces of these people have become sort of quite contorted because they're covered in coral growth and
yeah,
aging underwater.
Honestly, it's just extraordinary, isn't it? So, you know, having the opportunity to dive those sort of places as well, there's so much there that's going on. It's really great. And you were lucky enough to go back October last year again. And that was nice going back so you could see sort of how some of the conservation things are developing and reconnect with people. And we've got a really lovely relationship going on with the Grenadan Tourist Board and people, dive groups out there as well, and hope to go back.
Yeah, they do a really, really good job on emphasizing diving in Grenada. And, you know, making it a really, really important location, just putting it on the map. So yeah, they definitely have helped us discover it and
we were
realize the impact.
Just before this recording, actually, about that. We did one dive with with a group who wanted to show us the good and bad coral reef. It wasn't just all like, oh, I'm going to take you to the best coral reefs, and saying what an impact it made on you. Do you remember?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we went out with this amazing duo, this pair of divers.
Jane and Julie from Scuba West Indies.
Yeah. And yeah, the point of that day was to do 2 dives, one on their most abundant dive sites, with life, coral, fish, lobster. I mean, it had everything. This dive site, it was just amazing, and you know, it was one of the ones everyone, all the dive shops wanted to go out and do. And then they did this other one that and the emphasis was on the contrast between 2 of them. So we dove this second site, and it was amazing. You know, very similar to the first one, and we came up over this ledge, over onto the top to just finish our dive, do our safety stop. And they talked before about a lot of the land pollution that had it was very close to the hillside next to it. And yeah, all the land pollution running off into the hills, from the hills into the sea, had
polluting the reef. Wasn't it? Absolutely,
I mean, it was completely. The reef was bleached. It was dead.
It sort of suffered in runoff from the land, and they were talking about that, you know, because they've taken away all the trees and a lot of the plants, and it's being farmed. There is just nothing holding that soil
Lots of
back,
pollutants and chemicals and stuff.
It was,
and so there was this whole thing about the contrast between the 2 of them. So yes, it has amazing coral reefs, which are really, really fun to dive, but also they do again talk about this conservation effort, and you can see firsthand the influence of the damage going on.
Yeah, but it's good to see that contrast, because it is reality, isn't it?
And often most of the people on land will never stick their head underwater, and so it's highlighting, you know, the impact of what is going on land underwater as well. So that was useful for us, and then of course once we've seen that, we can talk about it and share images of it, and it was just very eye-opening.
Yeah. So when you're underwater, do you take a camera with you? Have you got into that kind of aspect of diving, or a GoPro?
Yeah, I'm really jealous actually, because last time we dived in Grenada, we were diving with 2 people. I think three people who had professional cameras, you know, these massive lenses,
and we've got a little GoPro.
Right.
Yeah, no, I think it would definitely be something I'd like to do in the future. Probably invest in something a little bit better, and just, you know, because we came up from the dives and we went back to the hotel, and you know, mum would get sent through these pictures from people we've dived with.
I think that's our problem, is that we were diving with Jill Hyneth. Okay, so like cave diver extraordinaire. We had a week with Jill, which was just amazing, wasn't it? So, and she's just an incredible photographer. And Mark Evans from the Diver magazine, and a chap called Nick Winkler as well, who again is like an award-winning photographer.
His photography is
just extraordinary. So anything we produced was going to be rubbish. So you sort of feel like giving up at that time.
Sometimes it only just takes that one picture, and then that's all you need.
Yeah.
No, I think it makes it accessible for lots of people. You know, your GoPros or alternatives. going down and just being able to say, oh yeah, you don't go diving, but I can show you this, and this is what's under the water. That's accessible. And then obviously, going into the bigger cameras, people who do it and do it really well. It's something I'm very jealous of.
Yeah, maybe one day.
Yeah, lots of saving up, I think.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah. So what's your future plans for your diving? Are you happy just sticking, you've done your rescue, or have you got any aspirations to do a bit more?
I think there's always the question of what else can I do? What can I do to, make it more enjoyable, to expand my horizons? And yeah, I constantly think, what do I want to do in the future? And as you said, just having the baseline skills to be able to dive is something that I think a lot of people should have, and I'm very lucky I do have. Being able to dive recreationally is not just a skill, but it's an experience that not a lot of people choose to do, but I think is quite an important thing for me. But obviously, there are more opportunities in the diving world, to get out there, do instructor courses, dive master courses. The questions are there. And I think obviously I'm not sure now, but the opportunities are there to potentially go into in the future.
Yeah, that's good. And you've got that, as you say, the baseline, and you can take that anywhere around the world, can't you? So,
and that's something that's really nice actually in diving. As soon as you have that baseline,
wherever you travel, you've got this amazing skill, and if you decide to, in your gap year or in the near future, if you want to go somewhere, it's a great way of earning money. It's a great way of meeting people and experiencing a place. So
meeting like-minded individuals who are interested in diving, conservation, anything under the water.
Do Dive Master. That's a good way of getting started.
I think so. I'd be very surprised if you don't do it at some point.
I'd love to do it.
You don't have that, or you don't have all that responsibility as such, but it gives us a good way of getting involved, or instructor assistant, that type thing.
It's definitely the next step.
I definitely recommend that.
Master.
It's just got to get through school at the moment, which is just
well, that's got to come first.
But yeah, no, as I think Mum said, my older sibling has done the Dive Master, and it's been amazing.
Brilliant. Really enjoyed it. In fact, Amelie's talking about doing instructor course now as well. So
it's obviously the next step above, and it's something that
why not?
I think
exactly
I'd like to do in the future.
Yeah. So do you think Amelie will go into a diving career as such, or
is it just part of their career? Maybe I don't know if it's going to be the full career, but it's something they absolutely love. And again, great community, great way of traveling and earning money, traveling as well. Life skills. So it might be something that they do for a few years. But
I think getting the HSE is worth doing as well. I think that'd be something.
I did my HSE, and that's quite a useful thing. I had to for all the media diving. It's another thing. I don't know. We'll see. It's like if there's an opportunity and you need the training to do it, then we can do it. We can all do it. We're very, very lucky. It's all very accessible, like you said.
Yeah. And as we look at, like, we take visits to Stony Cove, it is quite an aging demographic of divers. So what would you say to people, your age, to try and encourage them to look at the diving or even snorkeling, but just what would you kind of do to inspire them to take that next step?
I would definitely say there's a push on people my age on high adrenaline sports and going skiing and mountain biking and things on holidays. But also, people love to relax, and people like to have new experiences. And I think this is one of the things. There's so many different things that you can do with diving. I think as a baseline, just being able to see what's underwater, even if you're just snorkeling, even if it's that step to do the diving later,
It's actually, sorry to step in. Ollie and I did a lovely free diving course down in Porthcurris a few years ago, didn't we? And actually, it was a friend of yours came along as well, who was, interested in learning to dive, but it was a bit of a stepping stone. So that's something we don't talk about free diving enough, do we really?
No.
But Emily's been doing free diving out in Thailand. But that's a really good, because some people are a bit scared, aren't they? And a bit worried and nervous and this whole thing of breathing underwater. But actually just have a go at free diving and realize how accessible this whole environment is and how welcoming it is as well. It's really not a hostile place to be. Worst comes to worst, you just go up and get out.
Snorkeling is probably one of the best ones.
Doing the free diving. And then inevitably that will lead to this I need to stay down longer. I want to start diving. And I think also for young people it is so much more accessible than it was in my generation.
I agree. I think
but the flip side is there's so much competition, as you said. There's so many other things out there you can do. Why should you choose diving? And you have to commit to it and really spend a lot of time doing it. And people like a variety of stuff, don't they? They want to do this and this, and you have to
I think it's interesting what you said about being scared underwater. I think there's that stigma about diving for people who've never dived before, or is scary. Like things can go wrong. People are scared because
it's too many horror movies.
But there's
last breath.
There's potential of limited, but still potential of things to go wrong. And I think for young people, instead of saying, there's things that could go wrong, saying, well, actually, there's things you can explore, there's things you can see, there's so much that you wouldn't do otherwise. And you can get from snorkeling, scuba diving, even just swimming in the water, having those experiences that create a positive kind of impact around diving and marine life, anything to do with that. So if I were to say anything to people my age, I'd say get stuck in. But if you're worried about things going wrong, just take a few stepping stones to get there. And that creates something positive about it.
And what about if their parents don't dive?
Get their parents to dive.
I mean, you don't.
bring the folks as well.
I'm very lucky that both my parents dive. And I'm really glad you said that, actually, because you don't need your parents to dive to be able to dive. There's plenty of organizations that your parents can drop you off and you can you can dive in a swimming pool for a day, and or your parents can drop you off and you can dive with a group of people who will look after you. It's not something that your parents have to do. You can rent kit. You can go out on a boat with other people. You don't have to have the kit. You don't have to have the experience and the connections. It's something that anyone can get involved with if you really want to do it.
Because I've talked to parents who are scared of diving, but they don't want to pass that on to their kids. They really want their kids to learn to dive, but they themselves would never do it because they have the fear. And I think that's fantastic that they want,
that's
the
a tough one.
Do it. So
if you don't like diving and you don't like putting your face in the water, that's a tough one to then say to your kids to go do it.
It is.
And hold your own fears back.
But I think it's important for kids, I think, if kids have parents that don't want to dive or haven't dived before, or have fears around it, there's a
break that cycle.
Break the cycle. There's a possibility things go wrong, but so many opportunities that it can open so many doors.
Let's talk about social media for a minute. Because a lot of teenagers are on social media these days and are on their phones a lot, and that can be a good thing and it can be a bad thing as well. Do you think social media for people of your age, late teens, early 20s, helps or doesn't help
overall, or
either? What's your opinion on that?
I think as a broad topic, I think it has so many positive and negative aspects. I think for promoting things, if I'm going to link it to anything, for promoting things, social media is something that we listen to the most. But because it's so accessible. I mean, I think most people my age will have access to social media. It so many people can have positive influences from that.
Yeah.
You can basically see the world from your phone. I think that it can be a positive thing. Also, that can be a negative thing. Um, I think it depends who you watch and what kind of message you're getting told, whether that's something you believe in or something that you don't. The algorithm feeds you things that you want to watch,
Yeah.
and that can be misleading sometimes. But I think overall it does have a positive impact because of the breadth of information.
It can be quite overwhelming, I guess, for some people that
Yeah.
there's so much out there, you don't know what to look at.
Well, I
and
think it
what
can be a double-edged sword, because I think on a couple of points is that one, the whole thing of doing a sport that is quite exhilarating can mean that people don't stick at it, because they'll go on from one thing on to another. And the idea is that you want people to come in and learn, do their a try dive, and go on and do the paddy open water, and actually stick in the sport, and get other people to encourage and not disappear. And we see people that come on and do their courses, and then you don't see them again. And I think also with social media is that it can all be about the lovely tranquil blue waters, and it's not often like that, especially in the UK. And
Yeah.
it's trying to keep the reality there as well. And I think AI, as time goes on, AI won't help that. And I think we got to try and keep it real, especially about UK diving.
I agree. I think definitely on social media, if we're talking diving specific, you do see a lot of people going out to the Philippines, going out to Thailand, going out to Australia and places like that. And, you see these big blue shots, and, you've got great whites, and you've got basking sharks, and you've got these, incredibly amazing animals and this amazing cinematography, photography.
It looks great, doesn't
And
it?
that's your Instagram pages.
My feed, I never get anything from the UK. I never get a really murky diver. I can't really see what I'm doing. Everybody's shivering on the boat holding cups of tea in their dry seats. That never appears on my Instagram.
When you compare diving in the UK, and let's just talk about diving for the UK at the minute, compare that to fishing, football, maybe gym and stuff like that. That's all stuff that people do on a Saturday. They go fishing, they go football, blah blah blah. It's getting people to then go, well, actually on a Saturday, let's go for a dive. We've got dive centre, we've got lakes. There's lakes. We heard one the other day. So where's that? Not heard of that one before. And this is trying to get some of the bigger the divers who do all this deep stuff, to go into shallower lakes, because if you can get the people who are doing really inspirational stuff to then go to standard lakes as well and show actually it's all right to do that, we'll see more people, I think, get into diving and go, well, actually, I'm going to go into that lake, because we've got all these lakes up and down the country, and half the time they don't get any airtime as such. People don't get to know of them. The Dost Hills, and what was that other one we heard of the other day, Gemma?
Netherton near Birmingham. Never heard of it. And it was a Bezac lake. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, maybe we should do a study. We'll do a series on lake diving in the UK.
Yeah, you could do a tour of the UK, a road trip. Yeah. But I think it just seems diving it is niche, but getting the information about the accessible dive sites is quite difficult, or the information is quite old. So it's bringing it kind of up to date. I think that's
it's often word of mouth. You hear people saying, "Oh,
good podcast.
amazing dive site last week," and then you want to go. I think, as you know, linking it back to the social media, it in the right ways, it can be, you know, people can spread the word about things like that. And I think it is really important if we have all of these amazing lakes, we've got amazing sea surrounding us. I mean, we're an island nation, you know.
Yeah.
We've got all of these amazing opportunities. And you know, if people, you know, if I think spreading the word, getting people to get out on a Saturday and, you know, try something new or try something they've done before. But
It's just a
try
bit of
new
effort,
places.
isn't it, in the
It
UK?
is.
I mean, you know, for years and years, I've said, oh, it's really, really easy. It is a bit more of an effort here than it is.
Especially this time of year.
It really is, yeah. Yeah, we can find so many excuses why we shouldn't go diving because it's a little bit cold, or the weather's not very clement. And I think we just need to embrace it a little bit more, don't
But
we?
the future of the sport is Ollie and his friends.
Totally.
You know, and that's you know, Ollie and his friends, and people who follow Ollie and his friends and know Ollie and his friends, and I'm replicating you up and down the country. You are the future of the diving world. You know, it's not the people of my age who, you know, 20s and above.
Yeah.
Got to say that. And but you see my point, you know, so we've got to try and talk to other people of your age on your level, on your terms of what appeals to you and your friends. So whether it's TikTok, whether it's Instagram, or, you know, however means we do it.
Yeah. And you know, if anyone wanted to talk to me, you know, anyone of my friends wanted to talk to me about diving, I would, you know, promote it at the highest level. And I think, obviously, easy to do it word by mouth, harder to do it with the social media. It has to be done in the right way. You know, I think, definitely for the younger generation, having, as soon as people have an interest in that or hear something, then they're like, oh, maybe that's something I would want to try. Making more people aware, I think, you know, some people just don't even know about scuba diving.
So the club, you know, the BZAC clubs that we've got in the UK as well, they are really powerful.
They are.
Embrace the younger generation. And I know it's not always easy to organise trips that can include kids, but you know, just to encourage the clubs out there to do whatever they can to make sure that the kids can come along as well.
I agree.
You know, it's really, really tough. And it must be quite daunting for you if I say, oh, I'm going to go for a dive trip, and everybody on that trip list is over 50, and you're like, well, I'm going to be the only teenager. You know, that's quite tough as well. I mean, experience when we've done that has always been really positive. But actually the initial, just like, oh, do you know, Mum, I'm just going to go to town with my mates that day, is probably the easier option, isn't it? So, but I think sometimes force you.
I think the age thing has a thing to do with maturity, and you know, I think it can seem quite daunting for young people to try diving. But yeah, as I've said before, I think if anything, it's a positive thing. And I think, social media for kids my age, I think it can definitely promote diving.
Are we talking TikTok and Instagram?
I think, I mean, I do both, TikTok and Instagram. I think I've seen more diving stuff on Instagram. You know, as I said before, people's amazing experiences of it.
Yeah.
I don't think young people do Facebook, do they?
No, that's
no, I don't think they do.
No.
Yeah.
My son don't.
Me.
Honey doesn't.
Yeah, we need some real big influencer to get really into scuba diving, a youngster, you know, that's kind of got millions of followers, because that reach, you know, we've seen various people and they've just grown and grown and grown, and you know, they're amazing now.
Yeah, and definitely on a big scale like that, if you have a big influencer influencing a lot of people, you know, that's widespread. But I think on a smaller scale thing, even if you just do a dive at the weekend, or you go for a few dives, and you know, you put it on your Instagram story, or you do a little post or something, and then your friends, everyone who follows you, can see that and think, oh, that's, you know, that actually looks really cool.
Maybe what you should do a bit more.
I have done in the past, made posts, and tried to promote as much as I can when I have been diving. But I think definitely it's easier for people of my generation to do that smaller scale thing.
Yeah. And every little bit helps as well. You never know who it's going to reach, but it's just a case of doing it, and that leads to other things.
And people come up to me and talk to me about it, and that's what you want. That's all you can ask for, people to just get interested.
Yeah. Interaction at the end of the day. Yeah. No, well, that's really, really good. And it's so good that you're so positive about it as well. So, yeah. So we better get on to our set questions then.
Go for it.
Well, the first one, so if you could take 3 people, they don't have to be alive, they can be from the past, they don't have to dive, but if you could take 3 people underwater to see the world there, who would you take?
So I think I want to take people who haven't experienced it before, because as we've talked about, experience is something that not everyone can experience. 3 people. I think maybe three global leaders who, I think there's a lot of things nowadays on anti-climate change, and not believing it, spreading the word that it's just something that's going to happen naturally, and it's something that we're going to deal with. I think taking people underwater who don't have a respect for marine life would, if I could take the 3 most influential people who don't have that respect and change that, get people to actually think, okay, maybe this is something worth saving.
So Donald Trump.
Of course, you'd have to be one, wouldn't you? Really?
I don't know if I can give you 3 exact names, but that's the kind of
3 leaders.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, we've had people say that they could leave people under there. They could show them and then leave them there.
Controversial, that's popped into my head once or twice.
No, but that's good. Yeah, really good.
Good. What gets you out your comfort zone? Doesn't have to be diving, but what kind of challenges you?
Comparing to the other day.
I was going to talk about that actually. I think
what was that?
Me out of my comfort zone is just doing a little bit of public speaking, whatever it may be. I think for a lot of people, I think that's relatable, I hope. But yeah, just getting up, talking to a group of people, however big it may be, or performing. I'm used to performing, whether it's drama or music or speaking or something like that. But yeah, I think something, even if I'm so used to it, it still gets me out of my comfort zone. It still gets me a little bit of adrenaline.
Ollie had to present something at school dressed as a pink dinosaur the other day. He did say, actually, I am really out of my comfort zone. Just started a new school. I had to stand up in front of a big audience of people.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Sort of be a compere, like an MC. And it was like, you can see it's really absolutely your comfort zone. But that's really good because you said,
I think if you can do that, you can do anything, I think.
Flowing and, actually.
I would just encourage people to get out of their comfort zones and try new things, because I think you can't know what's out there until you've tried it, really.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and it takes you up once you've done it. That kind of makes you grow a little bit more, and ready for the next thing to take you out of your comfort zone.
Yeah. I think it's something that a lot of people are afraid of doing. Obviously, in your name, out of the comfort zone. But yeah, I think people shouldn't be so afraid and try new things.
Yeah, very good. Yeah. And then we always ask our guests if they could put a billboard up to the entire world. So you could put an image on it, you could put a saying on it, you could put video on it. What would you put on your billboard and why?
I think that's the hardest question you've asked today. I think there's a lot of things that I would want to put up. I think a lot of things that people believe in, they would want to spread to the whole world. That's a hard one. I I think
You can tell we didn't think about this before the recording.
um,
Apologies.
I think one of the things that
About the results of people's actions.
Yeah.
People need to think about what they do a bit more. I think there's a lot of very selfish people in the world who don't think about the results of their actions. Maybe something along that. Do
Yeah,
you think?
I think for me, I would do something about human empathy and kind of trying to get along with people, trying to find the good. I think people sometimes people try and find conflict, and I think if it was something that the whole world could see, and that would relate to as many people as possible, just trying to get along with people, that classic love thy neighbor thing. But, I think that's a bit cliche, but I think, finding the good in people.
Yeah, try not to fight, try and actually get along, find a way of making it work rather than not work.
That's a really tough.
And being kind, because that helps. Kind to each other, kind to the environment. It all helps, doesn't it?
Yeah. Especially nowadays, there is so much conflict in the world, isn't there? There's just so much anger and hatred and actually, a bit more getting on and loving and kindness would go a long way, wouldn't it? Really?
Yeah. And people could escape all that by getting underwater, where you just switch off, don't you?
That is one of the beautiful things. We've not really talked about that, but just the peace and tranquility of being underwater, and that just, no phone, no social media, nobody on your back, reminding you to do your homework or anything. It's just, you've got that wonderful hour of calm and restfulness and reflection, which I think in your busy, but in your busy lives as teenagers, and you've got so many demands on your time and your energy and everything, I think it's a very rewarding thing to be involved with, because it just gives you time for reflection, really, and all the stuff that goes with
time
it.
Away from these things, you can't see it. Time away from them.
It's important to get some time away from that. And as Mum said, just getting underwater, feeling relaxed, and your mind's taken away on what you're looking at, what you're doing, everything else other than things that you might be worrying about, things that might be going on. Basically just
lose yourself in it.
And I think it's like any sport, it's better to do it and push yourself to get out there, because you always feel better after you've done it.
100%.
So we've kind of, this is go diving.
Learn to dive. If you haven't tried it, try it.
I think, as we've said, it's all positive.
I can't think of anything negative actually that we've experienced together. And as a family, we have been very lucky. It's all the dive trips that we've done have been incredible. And you haven't had any negative experiences, really. And Amelie's had a few, interesting experiences, but all, character building.
I think,
And she's still diving as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And just, we touched on it before, but I think, spreading the word, making it, it something that people know about.
Yeah. Well, it's been really great having you on the podcast, Ollie. And Miranda as well. It's just, it's great to have you on again.
Thank you so much for your questions.
And if people have got any questions for you, if we just say email us and then we can pass them on to you.
Definitely. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay,
great. Lovely. Well, thank you for
diving.
That was really great. Thanks so much, Ollie. You did super well.
Come over really well.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thanks very much for coming us on. Sorry we couldn't include Amelie, but maybe another time.
Well, another time. So are you going to go to the Go Diving show?
Well, Ollie now you're doing D of E or 10 tools training or something that weekend. So we were hoping that we might go and chat about our experiences in Grenada, do a bit of a thumbs up for Grenada. But you're busy that weekend, which is really annoying. So I might go on the Sunday and catch up with friends. Are you guys going?
Yes, we'll be
going there. I think both days, I think, aren't we?
Everybody. So
it's a good opportunity to see familiar faces and new faces as well. So
it's good networking, and the whole diving community's there. We met so many people last time.
Yeah, it was really good.
I'd love to go again. I probably will. Not this year, but definitely
next year if it doesn't plan. But he's too busy doing lots of outdoor pursuits and stuff as well. So
what sort of ththings do you do outside of scuba diving?
I think the thing that clashes with that is either DV or 10 tours. So a training walk, probably going on to Dartmoor, Exmoor, Brecon.
Wow.
Oh wow, awesome.
But yeah, I enjoy that, just trying to get outside a little bit. I enjoy the walking part of it. That'll take up a few weekends.
It will, yeah.
Yeah, but it complements the diving, doesn't it? It's still being outside in nature and like under the water.
Pushing yourself as well. The 10 tours training, it's an army-based sort of challenge. And they have to do, their teams of the kids have to walk 35, 45 and 55 miles over a weekend and camp in between overnight over Dartmoor, and it's just extraordinary. And that is putting you out of your comfort zone as well. A lot of kids have never done anything like that before. It's really challenging. A lot of teams don't make it. But and for us as adults, watching them cross the finishing line, however they've done over the weekend, is quite emotional. Yeah. It's incredible, really. So again, that's
quite a stamp.
It is, yeah. So it's 45 miles for you this year. So it's
I really enjoyed it last time I did it. I think it's all about the kind of the people people in your team.
Yeah.
And I've got a really nice teacher at school who's running it, and lots of nice people in my year. So I'll definitely go for that.
Good luck with that.
Let us know how you get on.
Yeah.
So we'll edit the podcast. It'll probably be out in a few weeks' time, but we'll give you the heads up when it's out, and then if you
very much
can promote it. But
no, we'll try and get Ollie on Instagram doing a bit more diving.
Yeah, as much as I can.
Yeah. I know Amber's done quite a bit actually on their Instagram.
Yeah.
With their diving experiences, but
Where's your local inland site?
Bobster.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about 45 minutes away, so we're not too far away. To be honest, you've only really trained there, and I'd only go there to test equipment out, really. I'm not a big inland quarry.
No, I know what you mean.
Really,
you like the sea.
To be in the sea, really. Mind driving a bit further and
South Coast. Yeah,
good for us. So Devon and Cornwall, really, I think is
got some lovely places along that south coast.
I know, we're really lucky.
Really lucky.
Yeah, it's where I did all my university divings down there. So but also a nice trip abroad doesn't go amiss. So once or twice a year, if we can do that, that's always good. So
no, that's great. I'm sure it'll be a very popular podcast, to be honest.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
No, thanks for coming on. You come over really well.
Cheers. Thank you very much.
Great. Well, enjoy the rest of your evening, and
thank you very much.
We'll be in touch soon, and just keep in touch.
Brilliant. Thanks a lot, guys.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Bye, Ollie. Bye, Miranda.
Bye.
Well, let's say thank you first off to Ollie and Miranda for giving us some of their time this evening, and brilliant. Really enjoyed it.
It's so nice. I think he might be one of our younger guests that we've had on, because I think Grace was a university when we had.
Our first episode was with 3 girls, wasn't it?
Yeah, they were all at uni, weren't they?
I think Grace at the time was she 15?
She might have been, actually. Yeah, maybe still at high school. Similar age to Honey.
I think she was. She was the youngest of the 3, wasn't she?
Yeah. So, and I don't think we've had any sort of real other youngsters on, have we?
We had so many guests that I forget.
We need a matrix where we can classify them all and
search through.
Yeah, cave divers, wreck divers, age
to us
range.
An AI chat and say, what's the youngest guest of the Big Scuba podcast?
Probably sort that out for us. Yeah, so
it probably would, wouldn't it?
Yeah. But again, that leads us on to say there's a back catalogue of 218 episodes out there to listen to.
In fact, isn't it? Must be roundabout. Our first episode went out. Was it February? Wasn't it?
It's February time, our anniversary.
But we were certainly talking about and getting things set up in January, weren't we? So I wouldn't say our 6th anniversary yet, but it's only a few weeks away, isn't it?
Yeah, I think we used the first episode, we had guests, which was Grace, May, and
Yeah, it would have been a little bit scratchy, let's face it, because I think we were still using our laptops back then, weren't we?
Well, that just shows we've grown, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. In fact, I think our first episode we were using our phones to record.
Possibly, yeah. But yeah, head over to our website, to the episode page, and all our episodes are listed there. You can do a search, or you can just go to your preferred podcast platform and just search the Big Scuba podcast, and we'll pop up.
Yeah, I think that was really good. Enjoyed that, and there were some good pointers that came out. It was interesting hearing about Grenada and Madagascar, because like you don't often hear, they're not names you don't always hear that much. You often hear about people dive in Bikini atolls and America, Florida,
Caribbean, yeah,
and Red Sea, and as the popular ones. But I don't think we've had anyone talk about those places before.
No.
I might be wrong.
No. Well, maybe we need to make some contacts over there.
And the sculptor guy, I think he'd make an obvious guest, and we have a chat with him at some stage. Would be cool if he fancies coming on.
Yeah, if you've got any other recommendations for guests, then just drop us a DM. We should be bringing out sort of regular newsletters, so don't forget to sign up on our website so that you're on our email list, and we'll pop up into your inbox every few weeks or every month.
Thanks to everyone who has signed up this week. That's good. Good to see some new names and emails coming in, which is good.
Yeah. And also need to say thank you to Narked at 90 for sponsoring this podcast and these podcasts.
There we go. Up there.
So don't forget, their website has got a whole wealth of information on. They can cater for the recreational diver right through to the technical rebreather diver, and they're also there to service equipment, dive computers, and if you've got any questions or need some advice, they are the guys to go to.
And don't take our word for it. I was looking at something today, and somebody on Facebook, Scott RG, don't know him personally, but I think we have come across him. We're certainly our Facebook friends. Sure you won't mind me saying that. As he has put some, if you're following him on Facebook and probably on Instagram as well, has said what a great service that he's had from Narked at 90 this week and from the team. So don't just take our word from it. There's other people out there who also says they are the best team out there. So if you need anything on the diving front, rebreather front, need to get your diving computer, your sheer water or something service, then make sure you're in contact with Narked, because they'll sort that out for you.
Yeah, so the link to the website will be in the show notes. We've tested some of their equipment as such, like SMBs. You can look at those on our YouTube channel.
And we'll be going up there soon, won't we? I think we're due up there
in February.
Soon. To do some social media with them, so there'll be some new stuff coming out.
So we'll update our library of pictures and videos, and you can see what other bits and pieces they supply. But SMBs, strobes we've tested, haven't we, as well? Dive computers, so there's some great stuff that they supply, and even for all budgets as well.
Even took a tape measure in the North Sea to measure something, and whatever happened to that tape? I think it all fell to bits in the end.
Yes.
I think the salt water saw the end of it quite quickly.
It did. It lost its oomph.
Springiness.
Yes, it did. But so I think that's everything. We bring out regular podcasts every 2 weeks on a Monday, and they release UK time at 1:00 in the afternoon. So don't forget to tell your diving buddies and scuba friends that this podcast is out there for them. But it also applies to the non-divers in your life, because there's always some interesting stories that come out of it. We don't just talk to divers per se. We've spoken to, it's in the news at the moment, Mike Fink. He's one of the astronauts that's just landed back down. So down from the International Space Station. So that's another episode where diving was used for their training as astronauts. So it's we've got all different stories out there.
We did. We spoke to Peter
Miller.
That's all right. He was one of the technicians in the neutral buoyancy lab, wasn't he? He helps the astronauts, move their stuff around or whatever they're doing underwater. So it's good.
And we've spoken to underwater filmmakers like Mike Valentine. That's another two really entertaining episodes. So again, involved in filming like James Bond films underwater. But so many interesting stories that he brings to the podcast.
Certainly Mr. Connery, who was sitting in a heap crying afterwards.
Yes, if you're a Bond fan, then that is definitely 2 episodes you need to listen to.
Right. Well, I think that's kind of covered everything, hasn't it? I think.
No, so we'll just say thank you to Ollie and Miranda again. And that was the Big Scuba podcast. Thanks for downloading.